Hello, my little love. Did you have a good day today? I hope something made you smile. Now take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and let your mind get soft and quiet. It's time for a gentle bedtime story. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village where cherry blossoms fell like pink snow in springtime, there lived a kind young woman named Mina. She had rosy cheeks, warm brown eyes, and a laugh that sounded like bells chiming softly in the breeze. Mina was about to be married to a gentle young man named June, who worked in his family's rice fields and had the kindest smile in all the village. But Mina had a secret, something that made her feel shy and worried. You see, sometimes when she laughed too hard, or when she felt nervous, or even when she was just sitting quietly, her tummy would make the most surprising sounds, and well, she would pass gas. It was something she couldn't help, something that just happened, but it made her feel embarrassed. Especially because she was about to join June's family and live in their home. The wedding day arrived on a morning filled with golden sunshine and the sweet smell of jasmine flowers. Mina wore a beautiful dress the color of soft peach blossoms, and her hair was decorated with tiny white flowers that looked like little stars. The ceremony was lovely and simple, held beneath the old willow tree in the village square, where all the neighbors gathered to wish the young couple happiness. June held Mina's hand gently and promised to be kind and caring. And Mina promised the same, her heart beating like a little bird's wings with both joy and nervousness. After the celebration, Mina moved into June's family home, a cozy cottage with a thatched roof and a garden full of vegetables and flowers. June's mother was a dignified woman who wore her hair in a neat bun and kept the house spotlessly clean. She had very particular ideas about how things should be done, and she believed that a proper daughter-in-law should be quiet, graceful, and always perfectly mannered. Mina tried her very best to be exactly what her new mother-in-law expected. She woke early each morning to prepare breakfast, sweeping the floors so quietly that not even a whisper of dust stirred. She learned to fold clothes in the precise way her mother-in-law preferred, with each corner meeting exactly just so. She helped in the garden, pulling weeds with gentle hands and watering the vegetables in the cool of the evening. But the more nervous Mina became about being perfect, the more her tummy seemed to have a mind of its own. One morning, as she was serving rice to the family, she felt that familiar rumbling feeling. She held her breath, hoping it would pass, but then it happened, a soft sound like a tiny trumpet, right there in the quiet breakfast room. Mina's face turned as red as the radishes in the garden. June's mother looked up with raised eyebrows but said nothing, only pressed her lips together in a thin line. Mina felt terrible. She apologized quietly and hurried to the kitchen, her eyes stinging with tears of embarrassment. June found her there a few moments later and wrapped his arms around her in a gentle hug. "Don't worry," he whispered. "Everyone has things they cannot help. You are still wonderful." But Mina couldn't shake the feeling that she was disappointing her new family. As the days passed, Mina tried even harder to be perfect, which only made her more anxious, which only made her tummy more unpredictable. Sometimes it would happen while she was hanging laundry to dry in the sunshine, the cloths flapping gently in the breeze. Sometimes it would happen while she was kneading dough for bread, her hands working the soft mixture in gentle rhythms. Each time, Mina felt more and more embarrassed, and June's mother seemed to grow quieter and more distant. One evening, Mina sat alone in the garden after everyone had gone to sleep. The moon was full and bright, casting silvery light over the vegetables and flowers. She looked up at the stars, twinkling like diamonds scattered across velvet, and she whispered to them, "Please help me. I don't know how to stop this. I just want to be a good daughter and a good wife." The next morning, something unexpected happened. June's mother announced that the village magistrate, a very important official, would be visiting their home for dinner. This was a great honor, and everything needed to be absolutely perfect. The magistrate was known for his refined manners and his high standards, and having him as a guest would bring respect to the family. Mina felt her stomach flip with worry. Of all the times for such an important visit, this was the worst possible moment. But she took a deep breath and decided to do her very best. She spent the whole day preparing, cleaning every corner of the house until it sparkled, arranging flowers in pretty vases, and cooking the most delicious meal she could make. There was rice that gleamed like pearls, soup with vegetables cut into perfect little shapes, fish seasoned with ginger and garlic, and sweet rice cakes for dessert. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and lavender, the magistrate arrived. He was an elderly man with a long white beard and serious eyes, wearing fine robes and walking with great dignity. June's mother greeted him with many bows and led him to the place of honor at their dinner table. Mina served the meal with trembling hands, being extra careful with every movement, every gesture. The dinner seemed to be going well. The magistrate complimented the food, nodding approvingly as he tasted each dish. June's mother beamed with pride, and Mina began to relax just a tiny bit. But then, just as she was pouring tea for the honored guest, she felt that familiar sensation in her tummy. "Oh no," she thought. "Not now. Please not now." She tried to hold it in, pressing her lips together and standing very still. But the more she tried to control it, the worse it became. And then, in the quiet room where everyone was focused on their meal, it happened. But this time it wasn't a small sound. This time it was loud and long, echoing through the room like thunder rolling across summer hills. The room fell completely silent. The magistrate stopped with his chopsticks halfway to his mouth. June's eyes went wide. Mina wanted to disappear into the floor. Her face burned hotter than the cooking fire, and tears began to fill her eyes. But then something surprising happened. June's mother, that dignified woman who valued perfect manners above all else, did something completely unexpected. She cleared her throat and spoke up in a firm voice. "Oh my," she said, looking directly at the magistrate. "Please excuse me. I'm afraid I'm not feeling quite well this evening. That was me. I do apologize for the disturbance." Everyone turned to look at her in shock. The magistrate blinked in surprise. June's mother continued calmly, as if admitting to such a thing was the most natural matter in the world. "Sometimes these things happen, especially as we get older. I hope you'll forgive the interruption." The magistrate, after a moment of surprise, began to chuckle softly. Then his chuckle grew into a gentle laugh. "My dear lady," he said kindly, "there is no need to apologize. We are all human beings, after all. These things are perfectly natural. In fact, he leaned in as if sharing a secret. I myself had a similar moment just last week during a very important meeting. It happens to the best of us. The tension in the room melted away like morning mist in sunshine. June began to smile, and even Mina felt the tightness in her chest begin to ease. But she was confused. She knew it had been her, not her mother-in-law. Why had June's mother taken the blame? After the magistrate left, full and happy and praising the wonderful meal, Mina helped clean up the dishes. June's mother worked beside her in silence for a while, and then she spoke softly. "Mina, I know that wasn't me earlier." Mina looked up, her eyes wide. Her mother-in-law continued, setting down the dish she was drying. "I've been watching you these past weeks, seeing how hard you try, how much you care about doing everything right. And I realized something." She turned to face Mina, and her eyes were gentler than Mina had ever seen them. "I've been asking you to be perfect, but nobody is perfect. We all have things we cannot control. Some people sneeze loudly. Some people snore. Some people, well, have trouble with their digestion. These things don't make us bad people. They make us human." Tears rolled down Mina's cheeks, but this time they were tears of relief and gratitude. "I've been so worried," she whispered. "I thought you would be disappointed in me. I thought I was a terrible daughter-in-law." June's mother shook her head and, for the first time, pulled Mina into a warm embrace. "You are a wonderful daughter-in-law. You are kind and hardworking, and you care deeply about this family. That's what truly matters. Everything else," she smiled softly, "everything else is just part of being human." From that day forward, something changed in the household. Mina still had her unpredictable moments, but now when they happened, nobody made her feel bad. Sometimes June would make a little joke to lighten the mood. Sometimes his mother would simply continue whatever she was doing as if nothing had happened. And sometimes, believe it or not, when June's mother herself had a similar moment. They would all share a knowing smile, remembering the night of the magistrate's visit. Mina learned that being part of a family wasn't about being perfect. It was about accepting each other, embarrassing moments and all. It was about kindness and understanding and laughter. She learned that the things we cannot control about ourselves don't define who we are. What defines us is how we treat others, how much love we give, and how we handle our own imperfections with grace and humor. The seasons changed like pages turning in a gentle book. Spring brought cherry blossoms that danced in the breeze. Summer brought warm rains that made the garden grow thick and green. Autumn painted the trees in colors of gold and crimson. Winter covered everything in peaceful white snow. And through all these seasons, Mina grew more confident and more at home in her new family. She and June's mother became very close, working side by side in the kitchen, sharing recipes and stories, laughing together over silly things. Mina learned that her mother-in-law had her own worries and imperfections, her own moments of feeling less than perfect. And in sharing these truths with each other, they built something beautiful, a friendship based not on perfection but on honesty and acceptance. Years later, when Mina had children of her own, she would tell them this story on quiet evenings as the stars appeared in the darkening sky. She would tell them about the importance of being kind to yourself and others, about how everyone has things they're embarrassed about. and how true love and true family means accepting people exactly as they are. And whenever one of her children felt embarrassed about something they couldn't control, whether it was hiccups that wouldn't stop, or tripping over their own feet, or any of the 100 small mortifications that come with being human, Mina would give them a hug and remind them of the night the magistrate came to dinner. She would remind them that their imperfections didn't make them any less lovable, any less wonderful, any less deserving of kindness and respect. The little cottage with the thatched roof remained a place of warmth and acceptance, where laughter rang out freely, where mistakes were forgiven, and where everyone knew they were loved not despite their flaws, but along with them. And in the garden, the flowers continued to bloom year after year, filling the air with sweet perfume, reminding everyone who saw them that beauty and imperfection can exist together in perfect harmony. You did well today, my little love. Now let your eyes grow heavy, and let the night wrap around you like a soft blanket. Sleep well, sweet dreams, and rest deeply.